then let's start by moving our feet a little bit wider. If you have enough space, if that is possible for you. Maybe shift from side to side. Get a sense of your sitting bones, the distribution of your weight. And find what feels like center. Where your spine feels tall, your shoulders broad. Your head balancing over your torso over your hips. You can place your hands on your thighs, palms facing up or down. Take a moment to scan your environment, just notice where you're sitting, how you're sitting. And even if it is a familiar environment, just acknowledge the sounds, acknowledge the light, acknowledge the air on your skin, acknowledge how you feel today. You're welcome to bring your hands to your heart, but please affirm that you are completely in charge of your own practice and that you can steer your practice towards your own well-being. If you're comfortable with closing your eyes, close your eyes or lower your gaze and begin to draw your attention to sound. To the sounds that is in your immediate environment. Maybe it is the ticking of a clock, the passing of traffic. Maybe voices or a barking dog. As if you're scanning the environment, as if you opened a window and you're just taking in. It's easy listening. Let the sounds come to you. As you connect to the sounds or a particular sound, begin to soften these sounds or soften your breath so that these sounds can ride on your breath. It's as if you are coaxing the sounds and your breath into a harmonious relationship. As your breath drops into your body, so do the sounds. And as you exhale, let these sounds settle. It's as if these sounds are floating on your breath, merging with your breath. These sounds are welcome as your breath is welcome. These sounds are as much your environment as your breath is your environment. Notice if you can follow these sounds as you follow your breath. Maybe even through the sound or the sound of the breath or breath itself, you can trace or trickle yourself into a sense of stillness. To this meditation, we're going to add movement. So keep floating on this wave of sound and breath. Turn your palms facing up. And imagine you gathering. So bringing your palms together as if you're gathering water towards your face. Sweep your arms over your head, and behind your head you'll twirl your palms, backs of the fingers touching, backs of the hands touching. Lift your arms up, reach for the sky, backs of the hands towards each other. You can sit down and lengthen. And when you're ready, push your hands apart and down. Notice if these movements have changed your relationship to sound or your breath. Bring the hands together as if you're gathering, sweeping through water, gathering water, lifting it up. A blessing to yourself. Bring your hands over your head. Flip your palms, bring the backs of your hands together. Lift your hands up, they don't have to touch. If they touch, that's fine. And then push your hands apart and down, softness. It's as if your arms are riding your breath. As if it's gliding on the wind, the currents. Hands together, gathering, lifting. Bringing your hands over your head. Turn your palms, flip your hands, reach towards the sky and then connect heaven and earth. Soft through your shoulders. Use your breath to soften your shoulders. The hands gather and lift all the way overhead. Bring your hands over your head. Flip your palms. Reaching towards the skies. Keep sitting down as you lengthen. And then push your hands apart. It's a soft downward floating action. And one more. Gathering, lifting. Hands over the head. Flip your palms. Backs of the hands towards each other. Reach yourself tall. And push your hands apart. And let them flow down. The next time they come resting towards the ground, place your hands on your thighs. Give yourself a moment to listen. Excuse me. Maybe this listening has moved from sound that is tangible to a deeper inner listening. Listening to inner vibration, sensation, to what your body is revealing. Keep this meditative focus. As you lift one leg and then the other, you can just tap. It's as if you're bouncing your feet up towards the air and the hands rest comfortably on your thighs. And first without pressure, so it's just a bounce. You might feel this in your sitting bones and in your hips. So if you have injury or limited mobility, you can imagine the movements, and that image will trigger a sensation. It will trigger movement in the body. Just bouncing the feet. And then relaxing your feet and take this bounce into your hips. It's as if you're lifting one hip and then the other. It might feel as if you're shifting from side to side, so rocking from side to side. But eliminate the rocking and see if you can lift. If there's a sensation of squeezing into each hip and lifting the hip up. Might not be high, you might feel your feet lifting, your legs helping. It might feel as if your shoulders, your neck, your jaw, your eyes are helping. And then take it into the sides, so relaxing the hips, the sitting bones, bouncing into the sides of your body. So from the hip bone, up all the way underneath the armpit. Again, it might take a moment just to figure out where is the space that's lifting, that's lengthening. It might still feel like you're moving your legs or your hips or your shoulders. And then move from your side bodies into your shoulders, bouncing the shoulders. Just an easy bounce, an easy lift. It's like the raining down of droplets, an easy bounce. And then your neck, side of the neck. And again, you might feel it trickling all the way into the feet. The whole body works together, even though we're isolating or trying to. The whole body is into the game. The next time your head is bowed towards the right, hold it there. Take your, so the head towards the right, take your right hand and gently tap over the left side of your shoulder. If you don't like this tapping sensation, if it's too fast or too, well, whatever you feel, you don't like it. You can tap with your fingers or you can stroke with your palm. You can even massage a little. But it's soft movements over the ear, the neck. We'll change, bringing your head back to center. Left ear towards left shoulder. Take your left hand and if you like tapping, if you like that feeling of like raindrops, you can use that. If that doesn't speak to you today, stroking or patting with your hand. But it's soft movements, it's gentle movements. These movements are riding and enhancing the rhythm of your breath. And then come back to center. Give yourself a moment just to feel, to notice. How's your inner listening doing? your deep listening. If your eyes are closed, open your eyes and find a spot in front of you about the height of the horizon, so as if you're looking out over the horizon. Soften the muscles around your eyes, soften the muscles around your mouth, your ears, your forehead, your nostrils, maybe your jaw and your shoulders. The gaze is soft but focused. Begin to nod your head up and down. Keep your eyes fixed on that point. Keep your eyes on that point as you begin to move your head from side to side as if you're looking over your shoulder. If you feel your gaze is burning into that spot, soften your gaze a little, blink your eyes, or deliberately coax softness, effortlessness into the facial muscles. Look forward, keep your head still. We're going to move at a diagonal. So imagine a diagonal. It's going to cross over that point and begin to trace your chin along that diagonal line. Again, if you suddenly find that your gaze is burning a hole in whatever you're looking at, maybe blink. Look again. Bring a bit of coolness to your gaze. The coolness of water, coolness of a breeze, coolness of your breath. And we'll change. So find that diagonal in the opposite direction. It's crossing your point of focus, and then move your chin in that line. And you can move faster or slower. This wakes up the inner ear. Then coming back to center, take a moment. Maybe blink again. And relax your arms by your side. So whether your eyes are closed or open, there's that soft gaze, that inner gaze or outer gaze, but it's wrapped in softness. Keep your hands hanging loose. Create a bit of space underneath your armpits and just rotate your hands inward and outward. And as you move your hands, you'll feel that movement all the way into the shoulder girdle. Relax your hands and see if you can move your shoulders and feel that movement trickling into the hands. And if that's more difficult, or you kind of lose the feeling, just move your hands again to reconnect to the shoulder joint, and then relaxing your hands and keep moving your shoulders. And notice what's helping, what's assisting you. Where you're drawing support from, it might be the chest. You might find that you've started moving the chest. Maybe you feel the weight shifting in your feet. You might feel you've started to recruit your jaw, or even your eyes. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders. Whatever jumps in to help, just acknowledge that. Relax your arms again, so whether they're lying on your thighs again, Injury might prevent us from moving in a specific way, or lack of mobility, or life. So do what you can, use what you have. And start rolling your shoulders again. And if it's difficult to access the movement in the shoulders without using your hands, use your hands. Next time your hands are facing forward, bring your fingers together as if you're making a raindrop shape, so all the fingertips touch. Sweep your hands behind you and then roll your shoulders in, and you'll notice your hands begin to rotate as if you're bringing the little raindrops behind you. You might feel your shoulder blades separating and you're beginning to round your spine. Let all of that happen. So let the body unfold. And then slowly reverse. Begin to lift your chest. The shoulders rotate back and open. The hands begin to spin open. Flare your fingers and draw your arms behind you. You might find your shoulder blades moving towards each other. Your heart lifting. You might roll to the front of your sitting bones. And then we reverse. Raindrop fingers, the shoulders roll in. You might shift to the back of the sitting bones, rounding in between your shoulder blades. And keep going. Opening the shoulders, the hands, the chest, the throat, the eyes, and rolling forward. And begin to listen. So once you have the flow, the movements, the shapes, listen to the whispers of the body. Listen to where it wants to linger, what it's trying to avoid, where it feels comfortable or uncomfortable. Notice how your breath is moving. Maybe there's a sound to your breath. Maybe you can hear your heart beating. Maybe you want to increase the wave, make it bigger, bolder, or smaller, more intimate. Give yourself a couple of movements more. To feel, to explore, to listen. And then make them smaller and smaller. So deliberately smaller, closer to center. Until you come into a seat, a stillness. Notice the rebound, the reverberation, the echo of the movements. Lift your hands, let your palms face forward. Open and close your hands. This is completely possible from your hands on your thighs. So again, I make suggestions. Opening and closing, flaring and squeezing together. We squeeze, close, and we squeeze, open. Notice what you're recruiting. Maybe using the hands gives you a sense of strength. You can draw that strength into the body. A sense of stabilizing. And flash your fingers. And shake your hands. Shake them any direction. And then catch your right wrist. Then this is the easy way to do it. There's different ways. Catch your right wrist and you're wrapping your fingers as around your wrist as you can, creating a cuff. And then make a fist. Doesn't have to be a strong fist. And begin to move your hand from side to side. So you're holding on just tight enough to move your skin, to create some resistance, to isolate movement in this wrist joint, up and down, all around. Feel the sliding and gliding of your skin, maybe even the tissue underneath your skin, in the wrist. And we'll change, catching your left wrist. So it's tight enough to feel the sensation, but there's no force. Make a fist. It can be a light fist, easy fist. And move your hand from side to side. And then any direction. So sometimes if we have a lot of freedom, we tend to limit ourselves anyway. We fall into patterns, habitual movement. So notice how this any direction, any movement looks like. And then relax your hands. You can shake them again. Move your feet a little wider apart and begin to windshield wiper your knees. You might want to scoot forward. If your chair doesn't allow for a lot of movement, a little bit is perfect. If you cannot access movement in the feet or the knees, again, using your imagination, because it's gonna go somewhere. That intention of moving the lower body is going to trickle somewhere and something's gonna move. Might be an emotion. Folding your arms across your chest. Begin to move your arms the opposite direction. Opposite to the legs. When you have the rhythm going, move your head the same direction as your legs. You can slow it down. You can speed it up. Need a break, take a break. Come back to center. Relax your shoulders, your hips, your legs. Maybe engage your toes, just squeeze your toes and stretch your toes, especially if your feet are starting to get cold. A moment of listening. And this listening may start with a sound in your environment. Birds, maybe footsteps, maybe the ringing of the phone, Notice if you can welcome these sounds in, as if your breath is hugging them. Just welcome them in. Bring your hands back into fists. Turn the backs of your hands towards each other and bring your hands to your heart. This is the internal rotation of the shoulders. Your hands do not have to touch your heart. So again, move in towards this direction as much as you can, without force. As you roll your shoulders in, as you bring the backs of your hands together, maintain a sense of openness, lightness throughout the chest. Maybe even pushing a little bit into your chest to breathe into your back body, to wake up the back of the heart, the back of the lungs, the backs of the shoulders. If you're familiar with Hridaya Mudra, the mudra of the heart, you can use that instead of holding your hands in fists. So it's releasing or extending the little finger. So releasing, extending the little finger. Bringing your ring finger. So this is the little finger. Bringing your ring finger and your middle finger to the tip of your thumb and leaving your index finger at the base of your thumb. So from a fist, leave your index finger where it is, bring your middle and your ring finger to your thumb and release your little fingers. This is the mudra of the heart. Extend your right arm out in front of you, making an L shape with your index finger and thumb. Look at your index finger. Take your arm out to the right. Keep looking at your index finger. Look at your thumb. And then look in between your fingers out to the distance. Find a spot that you can look at in the distance. Doesn't have to be far. Look back at your index finger, look back at your thumb, and bring your hand back to your chest. It's a variation of archer pose, either in a fist, or if you feel Hridaya Mudra is accessible, some finger dexterity, you can explore that. And then the left hand. Push out with your left hand, making an L shape with your index and thumb. Look at your index finger. Take your arm out to the side. You can bend your elbow, especially if there's sensation in the arm, or ease up on the flexion of the wrist. Take your gaze from your index finger to your thumb. And then in between your fingers, out into the distance. Again, it doesn't have to be far. Gaze to the index finger, gaze to the thumb, in between your fingers, out to the distance. And bring your hand back to your heart. Make fists with both your hands. Imagine you pulling on a bowstring, another variation of archer pose. The right hand goes out, making this L shape with your fingers. Pull your left arm back. It's as if you're stretching the string of your bow. And then lift your bow up. The whole body tilts towards the left. And then over the horizon and down, lowering towards the right. back to center and we'll change. So changing the direction of your bow, extending your left arm, pulling the string back towards the right. Hold your bow, hold the string. It's as if you're pushing and pulling at the same time. And then lift your bow, lift it towards the sky. Over the horizon, all the way down. And back to center. And we'll change, come back to center. Stretch your bow, extend to the right. So the right arm goes out, the left arm draws back. As you come back to center, squeeze your forearms together and bow. Opening up, stretch your bow in the opposite direction, so left arm out. Come back to center, bow, forearms towards each other. Stretching to the right, back to center, bow. Stretching to the left, back to center and bow. Stretching to the right, we'll add a variation. Back to center, bow. If you need to scoot forward, please do. As you come up, open your arms, lift your heart. Hold it for a breath. Come back to center, hands to your heart. Stretch your bow to the left. Hands to your heart, forearms together, bow. And then lift your heart, open up as if you're blossoming open. And bring your hands to your thighs. Step your right leg out to the side. Big arms. It's from a Qigong form called Touch Water, Open to the Sky. So big arms as you dive forward. Imagine you touching water, gathering that water and open to the sky. So 4 more to the rhythm of your own breath. Bowing forward, opening to the sky. These movements can be as big or as small as they are. I've got 2 more. Bowing forward, touch the water, open to the sky. 1 more. And then we change, coming back to center. Take a moment to listen, to feel the difference between maybe left and right, top, bottom. Maybe your gaze, your ears, your shoulders, your throat. And step your left leg out to the side, diving forward, touching water. Open to the sky. 4 more. I've got 2 more. All the while listening. And coming back to center when you're ready. We'll add variations to that. Stepping the right leg out, Pivot towards the right, touch your water, so over towards the right foot. Open to the sky, the right side. Coming back to center, dive in between your legs, touch water. Open to the sky, keep opening to the sky by bringing your hands behind you, whether you have arm rests, or maybe you can catch the arm rests or scoot forward and lift your heart. Come back to center. Step your left leg out to the side, towards the left. Touch the water. Open to the sky. Touch the water forward. Open to the sky. Keep opening up by bringing your hands behind you. Lift your heart, pressing to your chair. Lift your heart. And come back to center, once more to each side. Stepping the right leg out. Touch the water. Open to the sky. To the front, touch the water. Open to the sky. Keep opening up. Use your hands for support. Slide your shoulder blades together like a shelf and let that lift your heart up. Coming back to center, we'll alternate the legs. Left leg steps out. Touch the water. Open to the sky. Forward, touch the water. Open to the sky. Keep opening up by placing your hands behind you and lift your heart. Coming back to center. Step your feet together. Just take a moment. These moments are there for the taking. And the more we stop, the more these pauses become an integral part of our life. Stop and smelling the flowers. The deep listening. The savoring. You can keep your legs as they are or move them further apart. So sometimes moving the legs further apart just gives you a more solid foundation. It feels more stable with the toes a little bit out. So once you have your foundation, take your right arm, and it is as if you are sweeping across the earth. A big, big, big circle. Bring your hand back to center and you'll change the direction of the sweeping. Big movement, as big as you can. Taking in, reaching out, setting boundaries. And then the left arm, a big circle. It's a watery movement, fluid. It's as if you're stirring the cosmic ocean. Back to center. The right arm across the sky. Big, big, big motion, as big as you can. Again, and this big might look very different. Each body has its own range, other direction across the sky. And the left arm. In the other direction. Back to center, and then to infinity and beyond. A big circle into the unknown. Change the direction of the circle. Other arm, when you're ready, you can move faster or slower. Move at a pace that enhances your deep listening. Change direction. Coming back into your seat. Now I'm going a little bit over time, but so it is. And then find center. Maybe closing your eyes or lowering your gaze. Go back to that place where we started, that finding sound. Maybe less finding and more inviting in. Muscles of the ears are relaxed. There's space around the heart, the chest, the hips. There's space underneath your armpits. As these sounds cross your path, maybe you can follow them. Maybe you can follow them onto your breath, riding your breath. You notice that you are attaching story, maybe words or feelings to the sound. See if you can bring it back to vibration. Just the sound itself. And begin to draw your hands across your thighs, generating some heat. Maybe rubbing your palms together. Tops of the palms in between your fingers. Maybe shaking your hands and then bringing your palms over your eyes. You don't have to touch your face. And underneath the warmth of your hands, open your eyes, bring your hands to your heart. I thank you for joining me. And as always, may your practice be blessed.